What's up?
I can't really rock.
Okay, I can only do it with the right. I can do it with the right side only.
Me too, like
Okay.
But the left one, I don't know how to like rotate it. Like it's kind of
awesome. So I'm gonna take it down. Hey. Okay. Alright, what's up, y'all? What up? Okay, so welcome, right?
Yeah.
Alright, okay, so what you were just listening to is the intro of Myth, okay, and it was called Wild.
Yes.
That song that when you shared it with me, I was like, holy shit, like she's not playing games right now.
Yeah.
Like no, like I was just like, you're not playing games, and it actually really inspired me to just to appreciate artistry, and just like, wow, like this is what we're about, like this is what artists do, you know. And so I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So welcome everybody who's watching this. Y'all are gonna watch this in a bit. I have my page here on Conxcious Productions, and this is my YouTube page, Conxcious Productions, and I'm starting a new segment called Creative Spotlight. All right, and now Myth is my new fucking first interviewee.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Yeah. And essentially what it's going to be about, it's going to be about genuine conversation about the come up, about their creative process, about what they do in order for them to be their artist self. That really sparks my heart. It really glows. It makes me want to ask people so many questions about why do you choose to use this art? Why do you, all these mediums, you know? So stay tuned. That's what's going to be part of all of this. We're going to try to hold space to keep it at 45 minutes. I know this can get really intense. So I think 40 minutes is like a good amount of time. It's not too little, not too less. And who knows? Maybe she might spit a little something.
You didn't tell me I had to freestyle. You didn't tell me that. Oh shit!
No, I'm just saying, like, hey, it's optional.
Okay, I don't mind. I got a little something.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah, it's optional. Don't pressure. So, okay, we're just gonna go in. So, yeah, do you want to share with the audience like what it is that you do?
Yes. So my name is Myth. I am a singer, songwriter, rapper, poet, writer. So basically I would practically put it all into like multimedia. Okay. Just throw it in there in a bag, and I want to adventure in like music and film as well.
Okay. So. Beautiful. I love that. I love how she said multimedia. What made you coin those words like that? Because it's a very beautiful way to see I'm a creative that's able to channel her energy into different facets of innovation and creativity. Yes.
Well, it all started with like the short film The Woman in Me. Have you watched it?
Yes.
Yeah. So just basically like putting everything that I'm capable of doing into one and seeing it visually, I was like, it sparked my interest with film. I was like, I know I'm gonna I know down the line. Like, so I don't know where, when, how.
Yeah.
But I was just like, there's gotta be much more. There's gotta be much more. And I just feel so true and real when I write. When it comes to poetry, when it comes to just hearing myself through pen and paper and reading it and actually like seeing the poetry and the woman in me as like an introduction of who I am as an artist and what I'm capable of doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Stop.
Okay, that gave me chills. Okay, so that's gonna lead me to my next question.
Yes.
What's up? Hello, Coral. Welcome.
Hi.
So we are interviewing Myth here about just like the creativity process, and so now you actually led me to my next question about pen. When you have your pen to paper, what is that about? Like, what is that? Yeah, like how does that even like transmute into like this is a song I'm gonna share with like millions of people in this world?
Right. I would say I feel like the realest conversation I have with myself is when I write.
Okay.
Because it's like you can't hide. I can't hide from the writer. Because the writer for me is the truth. The writer is is who I look into the mirror, and sometimes I'm so afraid to read what it is that I write because it's so real to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a crazy experience because I'm like, I don't even think, I let it flow, and I can't even, like, you know how some people have like the phone in the studio. I can't do that. It will not allow me to. So even at the studio, they know to like leave a stand for me, for my writing, for my books.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
So when you feel like you can't think, like what do you mean? Like how does that feel in your body? Like when you're writing, I mean, like so your brain shuts off and your heart is open, or your hands are writing? Like what's the voice that's kind of like being channeled?
To be honest with you, the only moment in my life where I don't hear a voice is when I write. Which is sometimes you have like a preview of a voice as you're about to write.
Yeah.
And it's more of a feeling.
Okay.
So, and it's like I've been constantly trying to find so many ways of meditation, of how to silence the mind. Mm-hmm. And I could only do it via writing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when did you start that?
I started writing since grade 4. Since grade 4.
Wow. Okay. And what did you write? Did you remember when you wrote?
Yeah, I actually like wrote a first song. It was a song to God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why a song to God?
I don't know. I was just like, let me put a prayer into like a poem type of a song.
Wow. Were you like? Did you grow up religious, or did you grow up in like a Catholic school, or?
Well,
did you grow up here?
No.
Okay.
I grew up in, well, it's like kind of a long story. It was more like Europe, Ottawa, and you know all over.
Internationally known.
Yeah. But grade 4, and I just sat in my bed in my room, and I was just like writing about a prayer. I was like, is this the right way? Oh, I love both of your energy. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
I just felt like, is this the right way for me to pray? How about I pray while I'm writing? Like, how about I change the form of prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in grade 4.
I was in grade 4.
Damn.
Yeah, I was in grade 4, and I was in my room, and I was like, what is this? What am I doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Like, see, that is so beautiful to me, because it shows like our souls are so eternal that we come into this physical human body state, and we know so much. We know so much.
Yes.
And like, I know that feeling. I know exactly that feeling. It's like that Matilda feeling. It's like Matilda was probably in grade 4 when she found her powers.
Yeah.
And that like changed my life, because it made me realize right now that like especially like, I don't know, I just keep thinking about like kids these days.
Right.
So like knowing like when I have kids, like not to teach them like they're idiots, like not to talk to them like, hey, you know, this is like hold space for their own creativity to always come out, because like shit like that, like exactly what you were saying,
it just sparks out of nowhere, you know, because I was such a social child. I was always outside in the park playing. I used to play basketball too, right?
Yeah.
Like we're always outside. Homie going like, yo, I gotta do the dishes. I don't think I can come out. Like, yo, E, we'll wait for you an hour, right? Yeah. And then things out of nowhere, you're by yourself. You're not engaging with anyone, and you just, boom, a talent shows up, and you're like, how am I handling this? Is this it? Like, you don't even think. You're like, is this in me? Like, what's going on? But
how did you handle that?
I like closed the book. I closed it. Like it was just
like you physically were like, I can't do this?
No, I read through it, and then I just closed it, and I was like, I don't know what that moment means. I couldn't comprehend it yet. But to me, it was like, it feels good to write. That's all I remember. I was like, it feels good to write. Oh. And I just closed it.
Okay. And then what happened after you closed it?
Well, like, I was really into, like, arts. I would perform every year in the elementary school. Like,
sorry, yes. I have somebody saying something. So Coral's like, my daughter loves the movie Matilda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that movie is very powerful. I feel like it's a must watch for people to like spark their inner creativity, for adults to spark their inner child vibes, because it just gets you like really in the space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, so you were saying?
So I was a very social child. Like I was always engaging in the arts, even outside of school. I was a backup dancer, backup vocalist, and I would get paid. All these things. I was very social. But I was never socially involved with myself.
Wow.
I was socially involved with the world around me.
Okay.
So I guess that's when I wrote in grade 4. I was like, this is the first time I'm having a me moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you thought about this before? Like, since we've had this conversation? Like,
no, I don't know why I'm opening up to you today.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's such a thought. Like, I feel like as if, like, someone has asked you this already. And, like, because if someone asked me that, like, where did this all start? I'd be like, where did this all start? But, like, it's like, you're explaining it with the energy that you have with it. It's like it was just yesterday. Like you're taking me with you there when you were in grade 4 and writing. Like I'm there. I'm present. I'm present with baby in this right now.
Yeah. I'm happy. But you know what pissed me off?
Yeah.
Is that we would have this in French class, right? We would have this test, this personality test, which would determine are you introverted or extroverted.
Okay, yeah.
And everybody was put into a different category.
Yeah. I used to love those tests, those quizzes.
Really?
What kind of friend are you? What kind of personality are you? I would buy all these books from Scholastics. Like, I would buy all that shit because I just needed to know, like, what percentage of who I was.
Right. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I got mad.
Yeah.
Because my result came like 50-50 introverted and extroverted.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't understand it. And I was like to my teacher, does this happen often?
Yeah.
And she's like, yes. And I was going like, but you know me.
Yeah.
Like, when am I ever to myself? And I didn't understand it until today with the arts.
Oh my god.
Where you're like, this is what it meant. That the relationship with my art is introverted. And then I have the other part of me that's willing to socialize with other people and like engage and be yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how do you balance that with like when you're performing? Like, cause your art is introverted, right? And then like when you're performing, it's a very extroverted thing. So that right there is 50-50. But like how do you navigate with that? Or through that rather?
I feel like, it's so funny. The first time I performed, like, my own songs, not, like, cover songs, because I used to do cover songs since a young age. People were like, it's almost like you're stepping out of yourself. Like, it's like,
wow.
I'm having a conversation with you, I'm friendly, I'm here, but when I'm on stage, it's like I step out. Or even when I'm in the studio, they're like, is this an alter persona? Who is that? And I was like, I don't consider it alter ego. You know what I mean? People are like, my alter ego. Like, no. It's always been a part of me.
I love that. Okay. We have to talk about alter ego.
Okay, let's go. Let's break it down.
I love that you brought that up with the alter ego. Because I feel like sometimes people have this alter ego to allow their deepest desires to be accepted. Like, that's what they see their alter ego like they're giving themselves permission to be like, I can't be this in this reality of me, so I'm gonna create this alter because that's like that's how we're spoon fed it. Like, you know, like if you want to unlock your deepest desires, like create this like persona like Sasha Fierce.
Right.
And I don't even know who Sasha Fierce is totally, but we're not even gonna go into that.
Right.
But so I love that you identify that because you're like, no, like this is just who I am. It's just like a different energy of that. Do you want to like add a little bit about that?
Yes. Honestly, I don't know how to deal with anger. I never knew how to deal with anger. I feel like growing up, we suppressed that emotion. And I always saw myself, I'm like, I feel like I have some jazzy elements about my voice. I consider myself a more jazzy vocalist, indie folk.
Wow.
But then sometimes my voice would turn into a whisper. And my vocal teacher was like, why are you afraid of putting power behind your voice? Like, what's stopping you? And I realized it was like, there's a block happening. There's a block, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm not. But then sometimes you want to reach that high note and you have to think outside of yourself. So you have to focus on the, they talk about there's chess. And
like
then
chess singing. And
yes, and whatnot, different level, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, my mom was like, when you're at home and you're angry with everybody, you scream, you yell. And I never tapped into that energy. And I was like, recently, I don't know what exactly happened. It just triggered, and I just started rapping. And I was able to push that. And it felt good releasing it and having this aggression about myself. Because we're always like, ha, 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 ha. Like, I'm always like conserved. I'm always like in this idea of how I want to look and how I want to please people. But for the first time in my life, like right now, I'm like, I feel so free when I scream on a microphone.
So, would you be able to take us into the space of like what it felt like to tap into your anger like that?
I feel
or like what got you to be like, hey, this is like an untapped energy that I can use to my advantage.
Yes. I feel like whenever I channel anger, it's like you're free to accept that you are angry.
Okay. Yes.
For some people, for myself,
say that again?
You're free to accept that you are angry.
When you're angry.
When I'm angry.
Wow. Okay, that's deep. I need to process. That's gonna take me a second to process. When you're angry is because it's hard for you to accept that you're angry.
Personally, for me,
that's intense. I don't even think people know that. Like, because I think you're right to a certain extent. Because like, I feel certain people like I think I'm there.
Right.
Not there as much right now, but sometimes I'll get angry that I'm angry, right? And I was like, fuck, now I'm in a different state. Now I'm like, I'm angry, and I'll tell the person, I'm like, yo, I'm annoyed, but it's a controlled anger. It's like, yo, I'm pissed off at what the fuck you did, but like, let's just like, let's just give me a second to like recalibrate, and I'll get back to you, kind of thing. And so, yeah, but like, I hear you. I would get pissed off that I'm angry. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be angry.
Yeah, it's suppressed. It's suppressed.
Yeah,
like you said, it's a controlled anger.
Yeah.
So it has to do with, okay, I don't want to have I don't want to scream it out. I don't want to have a higher pitched tone. Yeah. I don't want it to show aggressiveness through my movement, the way I am sitting. There's all these things, perception of what anger looks like. And I was like, nah, I'm in, like, I don't know what it is. I was just in the studio, and then I just started, I start to scream, growl. I start to, physically put my hands in places, and I was like, we have to accept it. We have to accept these parts of ourselves. We have to.
Yeah, you're so right. I've been wanting to, I don't know if Natalie's on here. I don't know if that's, I don't think she's on here. I think it's only Coral that's on. But, yeah, so Natalie, who was on here initially, she had this great idea of like having this like scream therapy.
Yes. And
she's like, no one in the city does it. I wish she was still on here, man. She would love this conversation, but it's all good. So scream therapy. And like, she gave me such a great idea, and I was just like, yo, you need to capitalize on that, because it's important and untapped, and people need to express their anger in a really healthy way. Because me growing up, like a lot of immigrant parents, like they'd be like, stop screaming or stop yelling if we were getting hurt, if we were getting beat, if we were getting disciplined, rather. Right. If we were getting disciplined, they were like, you can't, like, don't make the situation worse, essentially.
That it already is.
It already is. Like in the nicest way possible. Like, you're like, it's all love at the end of the day, right? Right. No one shall call you our moms, but like, what the fuck you doing to her? Like, kind of thing. But like, it was like, don't make the situation worse. You're like, I'm about to stop what we're doing. So like, stop disciplining you. But like, but I feel like to a certain part, there was a lot of suppression of like, I couldn't like activate my anger because it was so swallowed, because if I did, I was trained not to. Right. Because like they were trained not to, right? Because if you were out of line in that way, then you'd be in some sort of consequence. Right. And so, I think that's so healthy that you found that space in like a really like controlled but like still releasing way. Yes. That's amazing. Do you do that in other ways too? Where it's like you allow yourself to be in a space where you're like free flowing, but it's also controlled?
I'm still discovering. Like, there's movement, there's like, going to the gym or dancing, right? These little elements. I feel when I used to go to dance class, you know, everything was so, you know, you have a choreographer who tells you how to move, where to go. And I mean, like you mentioned, we should have these therapy classes or dance where you actually don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Where, because I always come into like this space of thinking about like how I look even when I dance, or how, but when I'm like rapping and I'm doing music and I'm screaming and shouting, it's like a moment where it's like, I've never felt like I needed to look a certain way. Even in my music video, wow, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm moving around and I'm screaming and shouting. I was like, it's freedom.
So, y'all need to check out her music video. It's on YouTube. She has a YouTube page. Yeah, it's so the video and music song that she's talking about is called Wild. And there's a few. Do you want to kind of talk about a little bit more like about Wild?
Yes.
Like how that kind of came into place?
Yes, of course. It started with me. I write everything on my bed.
Okay.
In my room.
So is that like a thing that like when I need to write, like do you go to your bed like?
Yes, I sleep with my notebooks. I sleep with a pen. I sleep with so much papers around me.
So how do you so if you were to go home right now, would you write before you went to bed?
No, I usually don't try to like look for it or try to apply it as a routine. I just let it come to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. That's why I sleep with it. So like, listen, if we were going to my mom's apartment, you'd see notebooks at the edge of the bed and pens beside the pillow. Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. And it was just like wild. And then I was like, okay, I need to find something that's kind of catchy. And I was like, Slim Shady, why not? And I was like, yo, let me start off with like, I Made You Scream on the track, the Khalees. Do you remember Khalees? Like,
yeah.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and then right, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, in one interview, Ness was like, yo, I fell in love with this girl when I saw her screaming in her music video.
She's crazy.
She's fucking crazy.
She's like, yo,
yeah. And I was like, what kind of female scream on a song nowadays?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that since her era.
Wow.
You know, now we have like all these different rappers and everything like that. But I'm like, let me scream. And I just started screaming on the microphone. I was like, yeah, let me try it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Because it really shows like the authenticity of like the style. Like it just really exudes. So I really like that. Cool.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, we're going to take this. So how long did it take you to kind of put that together?
I finished writing Wild in one day.
Okay.
And then...
I love that.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, but like, yeah, okay. It takes me a couple of days to write a poem.
A couple of days,
It's all good, like, to each its own, right? But like, I love that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, when, like, most of the song on the demo, it took me a day to write.
Okay.
And I was just experimenting, and that's why, like, I got a lot of feedback, and people were like, I don't really like it, I like it, and I was like, to me, it was my space of experimenting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I called it a demo.
Yeah.
Right? And people were like, oh, I like this, I like that. Yo, this is sick. And I'm like, I get the feedback, but it's my art.
Yeah.
I like it. I experimented in one day, and then I gave it to the people.
Yeah. That's so beautiful, and I love that. You know, that's beautiful and important, because sometimes there's going to be artists that you don't resonate with. There's going to be artists, and like, I was trying to tell I did tell my friend, I was like, he's like, yo, can you share my music? And I was just like, all right, let me listen to it. Because I'm just not going to share shit just because you're my homie. Like, I love you, and I want to support you, but like, I appreciate music too. So like, let me hear what's on the track.
Let me see it.
Yeah. And so it's all love. So I went to go listen to the track, and I was just like, yeah, this is not right. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not hitting me. Like, it's not like pulling on my heartstrings right now. So I'm like, you know what? I actually don't want to share this. And like, it'd be okay that I don't want to share it, because maybe you're not there where I'm at.
Exactly.
How can I tell you your music is not good?
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe you're like, you're just in a different space. And so it's like, it's one of those, it's like at the end of the day, there's people that are going to be vibing with the music. There's going to be people that are literally energetically connected to your frequency, that need to hear that, and that want to hear that, and are because we come all from the same source.
Yes.
We all from the same source. So in some way, that which you're emitting is going to connect with someone, right? And you just have to hold space for that. Because if you don't hold space for that, then it's not going to get to the people that you need them to get it to.
Exactly. And you know what's so funny? I kind of experiment. I don't know if you saw my Facebook status. I said I went to a hip hop station and they played Wild. You know?
Yeah.
People were like, "What the fuck is that?" Some other people were like, "Yo, this is new. I like it." And the host, which is an A&R, he was just on the radio station.
What's A&R?
In our art in the repertoire, like someone who recruits music talent for a record label.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And he was just there like, and people didn't really get it, you know, because, you know, it's like a really rough hip-hop background, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yo,
it is so rough. I love it. It's different.
And I'm like, yo, we all come from a different, you know, your experience on life is not the same as me. Some people like grew up in the street and really had to struggle to get it. Like, that's their story. Me, I'm coming to you from an experience where it's like suppressed emotion and I want to scream it out, and I felt like hip hop could relate to me. Some people love it. Some other people kind of like, we want to keep the culture that way. We want to keep hip hop that way.
Yeah.
But we're just in an era of we experiment with sound, and for us to move forward, we have to experiment.
I think that's the only way hip hop continues to be alive. If any culture, anything, to be honest, because like just like with technology, like as technology growing, the culture is changing, right? Yeah. And it depends how you want to take it. So I think that's beautiful, actually. And don't get me wrong, like hip hop, it has roots, right? Right. But I feel like in order for it to like really flourish, because it flourished into that.
Yes.
From like rudimentary, like, yo, everyone, let's hit the block and have a party for my sister. Right. So I have to put like this birthday together for her, you know, to like what it is right now, and it's gonna go so much. So the fact that you're like at this space of like really connecting to your truth, and then really playing with what you could do instrumentally, musically. I don't know if that's a word.
Yes,
but yeah, I think that's beautiful because you were like testing, but then having fun with it and just seeing what it is, an expression.
Exactly.
Taking hip hop forward.
We have to. That's where we are today.
Wow, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
I love that. Wow. Okay, so now we're gonna go to hip hop. Like, what about it? Like, one day I sat on my bed and I was just like, okay, who raised me? Hip hop raised me. Like, I had to intellectually understand that for myself, because I grew up in a Middle Eastern Muslim country, and my background is Catholic, Indian Catholic, and so but like the way I maneuver is because I have a lot of different cultures around me, and I had to ask myself, like, who am I? Like, what am I doing? But the earliest memories of me, my most favorite memories of me, were like when the movie Honey dropped.
Ooh!
Right?
Yeah, we were out there like,
trust me. Exactly. Right? Exactly. I wrote a poem about this. Like when the movie Honey dropped, and everyone around us were like, Pepsi was in the moment was just sponsoring basketball tournaments.
Wow.
Right? So like the culture is so alive in the moment, and I'm like, this is that moment that shaped me. From then on, I was like always into R&B and hip hop, and in that way, and I knew like hip hop raised me. So like I want to ask you, like, how do you how do you relate and interact with hip hop in that way, and like how has it brought you here where you are?
You know, it's so funny. I knew hip hop was there, but as I was growing up, I didn't feel like it was for everybody. So I could relate, I could hear everybody's story, and I loved it, but I felt like you had to have a moment of struggle to be part of hip hop.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And we never understand where it's here for everybody. The moment we accept that it's here for everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, your gender, your color, whatever it is. Because, you know, we grew up and then we saw Eminem coming up and we saw all these. That's why I loved music. I always did. DMX, you know, Tupac, Biggie, Big L, you know, all of them that started the story. And I was like,
yeah.
I love the music, but I never related, or I never felt like it was for me. So you know what I mean? It's soft, it's easy to hear, so you turn to R&B. I actually started with jazz.
Oh wow.
I started with jazz, yeah.
How did you get into that?
My favorite is Nina Simone.
Okay.
That's my ultimate favorite artist, because I was like, she has touched every single genre.
Wow.
She covered most of every song,
See,
made it her own.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? Like, Nina Simone was for the people, and you know, turned out to be activist, politician, you know, all of that.
Yeah.
But I admire her as an artist because she was experimenting with different sound constantly, coming from a classical background, you know, learning classical from such a young age, but didn't set limitation to her art.
Yeah.
And when I understood that a woman could do that, I was like, I want to be like that.
Wow.
I want to be.
When did you have that moment?
I would say in grade. Yeah, everything happened in grade 4. I don't know why.
No, it's okay. I totally know what you mean. I totally, like, before I came here, before I moved to Canada, like, I would share stories and people were like, when did that happen? I'm like, grade 5, I think. Because, like, that space, so much was happening. Like, that was implementing in my consciousness. So I feel like that it could have been like that moment when you had a certain sense of awakening. Like, your answers were like, yo, we're gonna drop some information on you right now. Yeah.
And you know what? So everything is a block to me. Like, I feel great when I was 5 years old. Do you remember that song? Hey, Macarena, Macarena. Hey,
what? Yes.
Macarena. Yeah, so my mom would like drop me off at daycare and I'd be like, and everybody's like, she a little entertainer, you know?
That's my track. I have like birthday videos of me doing the Macarena. Like, that shit is crazy. I love it.
That was the first Conxcious song, and I was like in there, and the tempo is so repetitive, and you're in there, and I was like, this one would get me through the day.
Yeah.
And then until I heard jazz, and I was like, whoa, this is my heart, this is my soul.
Yeah.
Like, this is me. And then grade 4, when I was like, okay, I'm listening to R&B, there was a wave of going on, you know, the early 2000 wave. But I was like, nah, I want to do more.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, like, really play with so much sound. I want to play with my voice as well.
So, you mentioned, like, you grew up, like, were you in the choir, or did you have a choir, like a music club or some sort?
I was mostly a dancer.
Okay, so you said you were, like, a backup dancer.
Yes.
Choreography, kind of, so you had that, like, that's where you were, like, sparking that I guess, fire.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I was doing traditional roundies dance and singing as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like? What is that? Please share with us. We don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't know?
No,
Okay.
I have no idea.
So everything is big.
We don't know right now.
We don't know. I'm gonna give you a little history.
Hey.
Everything is of drums and feet and arms. So your posture is straight, and then you like move with your arms from, you know, side to side, and then you bring the arms up, and it's very elegant. It's all about the shape, and kind of like a belly dancer, but not too much movement here, but it's just very in the core, and like how you carry yourself, how you flow through the stage. Yeah.
That is so powerful. That's giving me chills.
Yeah.
That's giving me chills because that's how I kind of dance. Like, my top body moves a lot more. My top body moves with my lower.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like in the Western culture, predominantly like the new age, like dancing, it's like, okay, like twerking is very like the form, but twerking has been there for like ancient. It's very ancient. Let's just like put that out there for right now. But like, I notice my shoulders move a lot more. I notice I have a lot more like give in my shoulders that doesn't usually happen in regular dance club things. But I'm like, okay, like, what does that feel like? So I love that you're sharing that. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It reminded me of, like, Polynesian culture, where a lot of their hands are moving. And it's, like, Tai Chi, too, because, like, you're moving the energy. So it's really cool.
Yeah. So a lot of upper body core, waist, and feet.
Oh, this is what this also reminded me of. This reminded me of a traditional Indian dance. Because we don't actually traditional Indian dance. We don't really we move the hip, but like more with our hands and our feet. So we have like bells on our ankles.
Us too.
Are
Us too.
you serious?
Yeah. We have like little bells. Yeah. So it goes with the drums as well. So you follow the rhythm of the drums. Yeah.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Because as soon as you said like your posture is straight, that instantly took me back home because my cousins grew up learning a traditional dance, and I would see it in the movies all the time. And it was if you were trained in classical Indian dance, you had fucking good posture.
Yes.
Because that shit, like, you were a failure in being a dancer if you did not have that posture, because that was so much part of the dance that like you could tell this person was a dancer.
Yeah.
Like in that way, because it was, and then like it was a lot with the hands, like this, like, you know, the mudras, like we're doing like all different kinds of things.
Yes, with your fingers as well. Yeah, I love that.
So it's so cool. Like, and so you, how long were you doing that for?
I started in the beginning of high school. My mom was like, I want you to learn about your culture. It's very important. I want you to participate. I want you to be part of the community. So we would do that for weddings, festival, and I would get like a nice check, you know, a nice $200. $200.
Yes.
And like I don't know why, but I was just like experimenting through the surface, from going to culture and modern world and just everything. And then I was just like, it's time for me.
Give me 1 second. For me, yeah. I'm just gonna have to move that. You keep talking, I'm listening.
Yeah. So I just figured out, I was like, hey, I'm doing all these different things. I think it's time for me to just like really tap into myself. And then I just started experimenting.
Cool. You feel free to share what you want to share with the audience. I'm just like,
yes,
some technical things right now.
So as of now, guys, I am just going through a moment of writing, you know, getting an EP ready for the fall. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just losing a little.
Okay. Yeah.
Getting an EP ready for the fall. So, that should be interesting.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that EP. So just so you know, in regards to keeping track of time, like we have about 7 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, like I love that we gradually came to this point, because that's where we are
everywhere discussing everything. I wish I could do 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, hey. We'll see how it goes.
Yes. So I feel like the EP is more centered. It will have a theme going on, just like it did with the demo.
Okay.
Just unlocking these parts of myself, but I feel like it's gonna be more of an approach where I'm using like this philosophical point of view on life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So what do you mean by philosophical point of view?
I tend to like want to escape
reality
and just dive into my art, but on this EP I'm gonna merge both world and actually give an in-depth perspective of how I'm coping with both, how I keep everything balanced, right? So it's more of giving you guys a journey of like how I'm diving into art and where I would like to remain without losing a sense of who I am, so I can be me and the artist at the same time. I don't have to separate two people.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you come to that insight? Because that was very deep.
It's just the same thing with the alter ego. Like, I feel like we always want to separate ourselves from the art.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
And I never understood that. I was like, why?
Yeah, why?
Why do we separate ourselves? This is my life. This is me.
Yes. Wow, you're just hitting on some strings. You're asking me questions. Like, in my heart, I'm like, when do I separate myself from my... Because I think I do... Yeah, I think so. There's... Why do you think that happens?
I have no idea. Like, I feel...
Interesting.
I don't know. I want to make it comfortable for everybody to be the artist and you. And be comfortable. I'm not saying, you know... I feel like with what we see so much nowadays, the perception of, like, the artist, of, like... hey, I gotta keep a different style. I have to keep up with like all these things to cover the eyes. You know what I mean? We never see an interview where we have engaging in these conversations, and I'm looking through your eyes. You're looking through my eyes, and it's very a safe, open space where it's like I would like to have more of these discussions.
Me too. I feel like that's why I wanted to have this, because I feel like I don't see this, and I'm like, yo, and I love to talk, and I want to hold space for artists, and so here we are.
But that's the thing. You have to feel safe outside of being the artist. So I feel like, yeah. But that's where intoxication and having a hard time to deal with being sobriety. Like, is that the word? Sobriety. Sorry, my French is coming out.
Yeah.
But we have such a hard time dealing with ourselves outside of being the artist that we're not here. I don't know. Some of my favorite artists, I don't even know who they are. You know, and we're so connected with technology and everything like that.
Yeah.
But they're selling us this perception, selling us this image, selling us these smoking mirrors where I'm like, when does that person just be?
So are you saying like they're sharing like their artist self, but they're not showing their real self? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm trying to say, it's more of, it's okay to be you.
Yeah.
It's okay to be you within the artist. It's okay to be you outside of the artist. I feel like a lot of time, the individual who is real, who is interactive, who is a human being, will hide in the artist.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like, we can't divide the two. We only get one part where you cover yourself in the artist.
So what would that look like? Can you give us like an example? Because this is a great motherfucking point that you just brought up. Like, I don't even think people have taken the time to understand that. I sure as hell did. I'm not assuming everyone has done this, but like, please feel free to add up on that, what you just said, and how that played out in your life. Like, where do you feel like you were extracting yourself from being an artist?
Yes. So I noticed, like, in a lot of jobs, you know, the last job I worked at in a hotel, they were like, you make music, you rap, you do this, you know what I mean? Like, how come that personality doesn't come out at work? How come we don't, you know what I mean? I was like, I would never do that. I would never come to work like, shades off, fur coat and shit. Not saying that's who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
But then again, I kind of want to like be myself in the art and outside of the art. I want to show both people, and I want to show that we can coexist. We don't have to separate each other all the time. We can coexist.
Wow, that's beautiful. You've really taken me on my journey on my own self. Because sometimes, there were so many times where I would be in these different positions, in these different corporate positions, and like my own self was being hidden. It was being hidden because my true creative, innovative artist self was like in the background because I was being paid for a job. I was there for a wage, and so I'm in spaces right now that really represent me, and really represent me. Right, I love it. And like, as I'm not afraid to share who I am. Like, if you ask me questions, if you ask me like, oh, like, how was your week? And I'm gonna tell you there was some spiritual shit that was happening in that. And I'm not afraid to that, because I feel like even like this corporate workplace, and not to change the narrative, but like this corporate workplace does have like, you leave that at home. Like, you're here for a job, you're working, so you're not talking about this. But it's a very how was your long weekend? Okay, mine was good, thanks. Like, do you even care what happened to me on the long weekend, Rob? Do you even care? Like,
do you even care? But you know, that same thing applies to the music industry. Music industry is a corporate.
And that's a good point.
That's your 9 to 5, and that's something we forget. It's a corporate thing. We want to sell the artist. You're a brand.
Yeah.
You know, but with technology and the internet happening, I guess we're starting to see who's who, right? But I feel like sometimes artists don't feel safe to be them. There's still this unsafe, like, there's not a safe space. We're not creating the safe space for both of us to coexist.
Wow, that's so interesting. I was watching a video on Cardi, and she was just talking about how there's so many like big people in the music industry that would like come up to her and be like, "I'm so proud of you. Like, I wish I could be just like as open as you are."
Right.
And she's like, these are like big people names. Like, I'm not gonna throw out names here, but like they wish they could speak the truth, but they're like, they've created such a persona for themselves that like
you're stuck.
Yeah,
you're stuck in there.
Yeah, like it's as if like you can't come out.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, you can always come out, but there's so many layers that you can't. Because
it's shocking. It takes away from the brand.
Yeah,
it takes you completely away. The other day, I was like, do we even know, think about some big names, like, do we even know who they are outside of that?
Yeah.
We do not know who they are. But, the movement is slowly pushing and progressing.
Yeah.
And I just
movement, what do you mean by, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, the movement of coexisting as one, the person and the art. And just,
person and the art.
Yeah, and just having to balance it and not be afraid to kind of hide behind the art. It's like you said, at the corporate, you don't hide behind
like a facade of who you are. Like
who you are.
You're sharing like genuinity. Yeah, I'm here. I'm doing this, and I'm also this being and this being.
Yes.
Like not being like a different entity, but like this is what I do, and this is what I do, and this is what I do. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That's beautiful. Okay. Well, that's what your EP is about.
Yes.
Thank you. Like I really appreciate that. Was really deep in how you came to that experience. Wow.
We learn every day. Like, sometimes, I'm telling you, I surprise myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't want to tap in it too much.
Yeah.
It gets exhausting and overwhelming.
It can get a little bit too intense.
Too intense, because it's too much discovery at once. But I was like, no. Like, when I did The Woman in Me, it was parts of me. Now it's going to be like, yo, this is who I am. Because everybody keeps asking me, who is Myth? What is your sound?
Okay, so I have a question. Do you have a piece called Parts of Me?
No.
No. All of me?
No.
Oh, do you have something that says me in it?
Just The Woman in Me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just checking? Oh, yeah. You're trying to give me one song, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Just got a little spark in there.
Plant seeds planting. I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's I swear, like, life is so precious.
Yeah.
Life is so precious to just hide and to not be who you want to be.
Woo! Fuck yeah.
It's so true. Like,
so true.
I was hiding. Like, I was hiding. Even sometimes, like, in friendship and relationship and whatever type of space, environment that you're in, we're always hiding. And I'm like, nah, this is the time. Let's be free.
So, would you say, like, in your first couple songs that you made, do you feel like you were hiding in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I was giving the artist, right? I was going like, this is parts of me, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, nah, I know there's more to talk about. I know, like, it's coming, it's going like, yo, we're going to talk about more. Both of us. We, as in me and Myth, we're gonna talk about more.
Wow.
There's so much more that needs to be said. Now it's like I'm creating a platform and I'm attracting, some people may resonate, may not.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yo, it gotta be bigger. It gotta be bigger than the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much. Like, that was really, really powerful. It's really resonating with what I like just living authentically, my business as well. Like, it's so important for me on a day-to-day basis, and then be authentic with my business, because that's how I'm motivated to make money. That is how I'm motivated, like, facts. Like, that's how my foundation is authenticity and doing great for the world. And if that is not the foundation, then I lose my motive, I lose my I lose my energy, because I don't see the purpose of it anymore. So every time I have to come back to that source of, why am I doing this? Who's this for? Where's the goodness in this? And how can I like even if it comes to a simple marketing tool,
right?
If I need to like market something, I have to go back to my root, and I'm like, why am I doing this, Anushka? Who is this for? Like, what is this gonna do for you and for the people that are watching this? Because that's gonna allow me the fire, that's gonna allow me the motivation, that's gonna allow me the need to share it with the world, to bring it to the world, to bring it to people, if it has that basis. So
yes.
Awesome. Is there any last things that you want to share with us? Like anything that you want to like just reach out to people's?
I would love for everybody to just, you know, when you're listening to my music, have a really open mind. Really an open mind. Because I don't think I kept telling people, I'm like, I don't think I've heard myself before, anyone like me. There is some inspiration that goes along, but it's going to be a different journey. And I can't wait to hop on it and get it going. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. So where can they find you? What's good?
Yeah, so you can find me on my Instagram. It is La Femme Myth, LAFEMMEMYTH.
Okay.
That goes for Facebook, SoundCloud, Spotify. We're just going to keep it simple as Myth, iTunes, Amazon. Everywhere. Everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Oh shit, you got your shit on Amazon.
Girl,
I didn't know
we
it was
gonna
a
start
thing.
streaming.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
The royalty check from that?
What?
Mad.
Yo,
Mad.
She just taught me something right new right now.
Yes,
Crazy.
there's Amazon Music. There's everything. Oh,
Alright, so
my
if you're
God.
on that Amazon Music tip, you can find Myth over there.
Yeah.
She's on there. She just taught me something new. Okay.
Yes.
And one thing that you want to work, you're like performing more for, not performing, but like you're dedicating yourself to be better in for yourself.
For myself, I think it's just really being clear with my words and my lyrics, and really creating that space to be like, it's okay to say what you want to say. You know what I mean? Now that I've found the approach, the tool on how to make a song, on how to push it out, but I have to say it's okay to say what I want to say, and I have to like get stronger with my word of play, stronger with structure, stronger with, you know what I mean? Because I just realized my voice is powerful, and I need the strong words to back it up.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm working. I'm progressing, learning. You know.
Yeah,
me.
I'm learning from you too.
I'm learning from you.
Yeah.
This platform, everything.
Thank you.
Conxcious Production.
Hey.
Listen, we're gonna look back on this in a few years,
Yes.
and we're gonna be like,
Yes, absolutely. I feel that. As soon as we were talking, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be big. Like, I feel like. So I really appreciate you coming on here, just sharing your truth with us. We are all at the 1 hour mark, and I do want to just like keep it like exclusive, keep it tight, keep it clean, and so thank you for being part of this journey, Conxcious Productions.
thank you for having me. Thank
so
you.
welcome.
No,
So
this
welcome.
is gonna be. We're gonna push it. We're
I
gonna
love
push it.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey. Yes. So if you aren't following already, please subscribe below and just comment. Like, what do you think?
Comment.
Yeah. If you have any questions that you'd like to share to either myself or Myth, like drop them below. She does have an Instagram. She have on all platforms. I'm gonna put that in the description below and on Facebook as well. So you're gonna catch that. You already have her page on there, so you can get some more information on there. All right, well, peace, blessings, stay tuned. There's some more magic coming through, and we just dropped the first fucking episode of Creative Spotlight with Myth. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, we're out.